Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Man, I know this knew you, but I knew you. You control my mind, this shit is voodoo. I don't understand, I don't. Seem I got good cards, but I'm playing my hand. DZ Squad! What's good, DZ Squad? It's your girl KDZ, baby, and I'm back again with another lit video for y'all. And guys, in this video, I'm gonna be reacting to chapter 86 of Duplicity. Now, this is day 8 of Reactmas, so you guys, welcome. I do not have my Santa hat on today, but welcome. Make sure you guys get your merch. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, these aren't the 2 items that I have on my site. All you have to do is go check it out. I have a lot of different items, a lot of different colors, sizes, a lot of, okay? So go check it out. But you guys, Duplicity chapter 86 was actually requested by a VIP patron that paid $10 to send me in, on a special request. You get what I'm saying? So shout out to you. I'm going to put your message up on here on the screen. But this is a long chapter. So let's go ahead and y'all, let's get into it. Sheesh, 1.2 million views on this chapter alone right here. Okay, guys, so chapter 86. We just gonna read it. And guys, I'm gonna try to give my little twist because acting is my thing. I'm just read it exactly how I feel like it would be. You know what I'm saying? Act it out. All right, this is Avon Brooks. His voice was full of uncertainty when he just gave me a single request that would be so normal from anyone that wasn't him. From him, it's something very heavy. I wish I wasn't intoxicated for this moment, but I had a feeling I was gonna sober up real quick. Shower together? I try to contain my excitement, keeping the serious look on my face. He nods timidly. Oop, he said, like, naked? My questions are dumb, but I'm slightly in shock. Wait. Oh, so he's the one that asks. Okay, so shower together. I try to take my excitement, keeping it seriously. Like naked. My questions are dumb, but I'm slightly in shock. Okay, so he said he rubs the back of his neck, nodding again. Oop. So he was over here nervous to do it. She's like googly and shit. I said googly. I keep my eyes on him, watching how nervous he was from saying that. My heart thrashes at the thought of taking a shower together, letting me see him shirtless for that long. Things like that I once dreamed of, but I knew came with a price. As much as I just wanted to smile and jump into his arms, I had to be patient. Are you ready for that? I whisper, knowing that was a huge step for him. Standing in the bathroom doorway, I stare at him in need of a serious answer that would have to be convincing enough for me to let him go through with that. I don't want him to spiral into something because he didn't think this through enough. I have to try. I have to try. You don't have to do anything. I make clear from his words. I want to try. He corrects, eyes burning into mine. I blink in my stare. Do you usually shower with your shirt off? What kind of question? She's just really trying to make sure here. Okay. He nods. I do most of the time, but avoid looking down on myself. If I'm having a particular bad day, then I won't. Okay, I'm missing something. This is, out of context, obviously, for me. So why doesn't he look down? Is there something going on with his body? What happened? Let me know. You think you'll be okay? I whisper in certainty, wanting it more than anything, but not wanting to push him. He had to completely make this decision himself, with no persuasion. I don't know. He shakes his head. But if I was ever going to, I want it to be tonight. Oop. A smile moves up to my face, the shower head pelting in the bathroom behind me while the upbeat music from downstairs muffles through the drywall. The thought that he's willing to take a chance on something so terrifying in order to make a step forward with me is amazing. Me seeing you without your shirt will change nothing between us tonight. I know what you look like already, and I've told you how beautiful I still think you are. If you want to take this step with me, I'll cherish this moment forever. But if you want to even wear the shirt and still shower with me, I'll cherish that too. That too. This is a decision that is totally up to you. You will not be getting any persuasions from me. I try to use the best words I can considering I was still tipsy. I try to use the best words I can considering I was still tipsy. Okay, cool. So she's right. So they were tipsy from drinking, I'm guessing. Wait, both of them? It was at the top, I think. I wish I wasn't intoxicated. Okay, cool. Silence runs between us like he was deep in thought. It was good. I wanted him to really think about it. Amongst the silence, I speak one more time. Just don't do it for me. Do it for you. His eyes meet mine again. A meter stood between us on opposite sides of the doorway. My eyes may be glossed from alcohol and slightly blurred from my contacts being out, but I tried my best to keep my vision on his for the emotional contact. They trying to make this hella special. This gotta be special. He curves his hand around the door trim in the direction of the light switch on the bathroom wall, clicking a single button that changed the entire aura of the room. The bathroom was suddenly glowering, purple. Glowing purple. Okay, cool. Catching me discreetly off guard, I turned my head back to look at the depths of the foggy room, seeing the purple glow on every surface. It was a bright neon purple that could almost be classified as pink. As I look back at him in the doorway, he steps forward into my space, causing me to step back. The purple floods his face when he enters the humid room, keeping his eyes down on mine so I no longer see the green of his irises. Irises? Sounds better. Irises. Oh, and shout out to Happy Days 1D for this. So far, I'm loving how this is, written. I'm really enjoying it so far. Very descriptive. Love that. He shuts the door behind him as the steam from the running shower became clouds to the ceiling. He steps forward until we were both in the center of the muggy room. I was mildly confused by why he has purple lights set up in the bathroom. He shuts his eyes, breathes for a moment. I don't say a word, I just stare up at him. His chest brews up and down in a slow rhythm, hands down by his sides. He's thinking. Without even speaking, he slowly brings his hands up to the back collar of his shirt. I held my breath out of habit when he pulls the fabric up over the back of his head. The shirt swallows his head as he slides it up his body to expose it completely. I like that figurative language. The shirt swallows his head. That's very interesting. I was in slight shock, but didn't make it visual on my face. The fabric leaves his head and drops to the floor. My eyes not leaving his once. I saw them again. I was in utter surprise at how fast he did it, but also nervous. He went into this with a confident step. Standing in the middle of the purple glowing bathroom, he opens his eyes on mine and nowhere else. Shirtless in front of me, I find myself scared to look elsewhere. Silence floods between us, the purple lights blanketing every complexion we once held. My chest rose up and down from the adrenaline, my bad. Knowing the second I looked down an inch, I'd get to see his bare chest again. I've seen it, but the idea was still so foreign to me. Would you like me to look? It still felt invasive of his privacy. He nods, keeping his eyes burned into mine like it was his only safe zone. He kept a chiseled expression on his face, but his eyes told me he was in a world of nerves. It was hard detaching contact from them. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. Dang, so this is a huge step for them, huh? I can see that, for sure. I stumbled my eyes down to his chest right before me, the purple lights making the pink of his wounds almost invisible. I blinked twice, thinking I was just blind from my contacts being out. But it was true. The harsh scars on his front were almost disguised from the ambiguous lights. So he has scars there. Okay, so scars from what is my question? Obviously, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna answer this for me. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You knew they were still there, but very faded. His titanium dog tag pendant sat between his chest muscles, the same one he uses to make coke lines. This is very deep. Okay, so right, he does drugs. I do remember seeing, throughout the edits that I've reacted to, I mean, it obviously tells, the fact that he is into drugs or is an addict or whatever. In all my apartments, the bathrooms have purple lights because they color match some of the lighter scars. I don't look at myself, but if it accidentally happens, then this tricks me to feel the slightest bit normal. He whispers as I stare at his chest. The tone in his voice was a little unstable. He's trying so hard to be clear and confident. This was still new for both of us. His skin being exposed like this. The last time he didn't do this, he was crying. The last time he did this, maybe, he was crying on his knees in front of me. The fact he was holding himself together as hard as he could was astonishing. The purple lights did wash away a lot of the pink scars, but the scars on his front were not a fraction as bad as the scars on his back. I wanted to glance at the mirror on my left to see, but I decided against it. I understood where he was coming from. This helps him feel ordinary. It hides some of his sins for a moment of time. So his sins, is that when it comes to his, like when I think he's a murderer or something, he kills people? I am not completely, you know what I'm saying? Don't quote me. You guys can tell me, but I know he's not really a good guy in this story. And, when I first saw that he had, scars there, I was actually kind of thinking about maybe if he was abused or something, you know what I'm saying, as a young kid, or you get what I'm saying. That's what I kind of went to, but I do have to remember that he's not exactly the best person. So it could come from what he does, like the bad things that he does. His body is so beautiful, no matter the imperfections on his skin. His chest is sculpted of muscle, firm like stone, and blanketed in agile skin. Maybe that's how you say it. His collarbones stuck out mercilessly. Okay, adding castic shadows that went all the way to his broad shoulders. His body is a work of art. I wish he understood that. My eyes find themselves trailing down to his abs. The gentle indents of the muscles were just seen enough behind the soft layer of skin. I fell hypnotized to the trail of dark hair leading from his belly button to the band of his black jeans. Even that was so beautiful to me. I'm absolutely mesmerized by him. So you guys, ladies, let me know. Did you guys like hairy men? Well, at least the straight ladies. So you guys let me know if you guys like hairy men. You get what I'm saying? Or bisexual. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Just let me know. I looked back up at his eyes after my leisurely tour of his body. They were shut. He didn't want to see me staring for so long. He rather shut his eyes. His chest puffs up and down. I know this must have been hard, even with the purple lights. Hey, I grab his hands. Look at me. He opens his eyes down into my own, a smile on my face to try and calm him down before anything gets too heavy in his torturous thoughts. It's just a body. I rub my thumbs on the top of his hands and my hold. A beautiful body. He keeps his cold eyes on mine, trying to find truth in them. I nod to boost his confidence and further support what I just said. I was only telling the truth. I wasn't going to run or scream or look at him in disgust. Anyone like that deserves a spot in hell. Rightfully so. Your father has only ever made you think these marks are anything other than just abuse. They aren't your sins. They aren't deserved. They are just marks. You are a victim and nothing more when it comes to this, I whispered. Okay, so here we go. This is what I was actually wondering. So his father did abuse him when he was younger. Got it. Got you. So I can see why that would cause him to want to push people away. Well, especially lovers in his life. Or push anyone away, actually. But okay, got it. So he was abused when he was younger. He shuts his eyes again, gripping my hands really tight all of a sudden, like he needed to hold on to something while I spoke like this. He squeezes my hands like they were his only way of knowing this was real life, that I was real life. I held him tightly back. I look at his biceps and forearms, seeing all the names inked into him from past one-night relations. The names valley tightly up his arms until reaching where a t-shirt sleeve would end. From there, they fizzle out to the pure skin of his shoulders. Staring at them just made me realize how everything on the upper half of his body is permanent. Tattoos and scars. That's deep. It was odd to me that after all the permanent scars on his skin, he insists on adding to it with more permanent ink. It's not like it was art or anything either. It's names of women he doesn't care about. That's crazy. I mean, wow. When did you start tattooing the names? He breathes, keeping his eyes shut with our hands held for support. After my father died and I started sleeping around. Eyeing the tattoos, I put together what they actually meant. He always said they were drunk jokes, but I never really stopped to think about Harry and how he thinks about his body. He is so ashamed of himself that he will never take off his shirt. Those scars on his back are irreversible, and he hates that. He wishes they weren't permanent. So why would someone who is so ashamed of his body be so ruthless to putting more permanent things on it, such as one-night stands? His father used to punish him for his sins, punish him in a way that he had to live the rest of his life seeing them on his skin. Okay. Harry, are those tattoos your way of punishing yourself for premarital sex? I whisper. In conclusion, finally it's all piecing together. Got you. Okay. So he's punishing himself, just like his father used to punish him. So the comparison is they're both sins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, spiritually, they're both sins. So, well, whatever his father used to punish him for, and then premarital sex. I mean, just before marriage. You get what I'm saying? His jaw clenches, eyes still drilled shut. His head drops in mercy, my hands squeezed tight in his. He always said they were drunk jokes, and that always made sense given the type of person he is. A rich rock star would do something like that. But then you add in his traumatic past, and now that doesn't make sense. His father used to punish him for his sins, and premarital sex was one of them. He's punishing himself in the only way he can on his own. Tattooing permanent names into his body because he can't hurt himself with a belt like his father once did. Dang, his father hit him that hard with them belts? That is crazy. Okay. It's deep. Alright. He wanted my sins to be permanent. Sex, lies, disobedience. Okay, that answers my question. So when he died, I tattooed every name of someone I fornicated with as a way to punish myself with something permanent. He answers my thoughts. I was spot on. That's some of these words are huge, guys. So I apologize if I do not pronounce them correctly. I nod to him, everything making so much sense now. I put you on my hand because you mean more to me than all the other names, but at the same time, I have so much more to punish myself for when it comes to you. More than just sex, he adds, opening his eyes to me. Like what? I whisper in confusion, not liking the fact my name on his hand is another way for him to punish himself. I can't explain it. He shakes his head, eyes still shut. Things I've done to an angel like you are things I should be punished for. I stare up at his closed eyes, not sure what to say to convince him otherwise when he was being so vague. I assume he was referring to the past and how terrible his attitude was towards me, how much he hated me. It was never about the physical pain when it came to my punishments. The pain was terrible, but it wasn't the worst part of the experience. It was about the aftermath, the scars that would never go away. That was the point of the punishment. So I'd look at myself and be reminded of all the things I've done wrong. So I tattoo names because I have to look at them for the rest of my life. You're beaut. No, I'm not. He doesn't let me finish, his eyes opening down at me. I'm hideous, and I will always feel hideous. But I'm working on being okay with that. And that's because of you. Because you have always stood there through all my shit and still called me an angel despite it all. He explains with his heart in his sleeve. I stare at him from his explanation, taking it all in. As sad as his words may be, it was growth. He was trying to learn to be okay with the way he looks, whether it's hideous in his eyes or not. I was lost in what to say, how to make him feel better, but I don't think I can. He didn't need for me to make him feel better. He was trying it on his own. The strength got him to this point, standing without a shirt in front of me. I cross my arms over my stomach and throw my shirt over my head so I stand naked from the waist up, just in my underwear now. After that, I undo his belt buckle and the bottom of his jeans. My fingers pull down the zipper to open up the waist. My eyes stay on his as I do so, wanting him to stay in the moment. I yank down his black jeans so they pull to his knees. Step out of them, I state, but keep your eyes on me. He listens, lifting each leg up to get his ankles out. At the same time, I hook my fingers on the sides of my cotton underwear and pull them down so they drop to my feet. I stood completely naked now, him just in his black boxers. All right. Woo! All right, y'all. Is it getting spicy or what? I reach forward to them with my eyes on his. I'm pretty sure I said that right. Pulling down the thick band so they also fall to the floor. Both of us completely bare and vulnerable now. I speak. You are the second person to ever see me like this, you know? I state. So when I stand here with you, I feel vulnerable and almost uncomfortable. But I know no matter what, you will never look at me and think I'm anything less than beautiful. So that's why I can stand here and feel okay, I whisper. You see, this kind of shows that, even though he's the one, that went through all of the abuse, he has all those scars, and this was a big moment for her to see him and for him to let someone see him. You get what I'm saying? It's, you still think about it. I mean, it's for all of us. It's still, kind of uncomfortable for us to be naked in front of certain people, no matter how much we love them, especially for the first time. And maybe a lot of times after that, it's always a little bit uncomfortable. So, this is very accurate. He keeps his eyes on mine, slowly nodding in the purple lighting. Just understand that's everything I feel about you too, I add. And no blemish on your body will ever change that. His eyes stay down on mine, swallowing subtly. He takes in what I was saying, eventually trailing his eyes down to my chest. Before I go to understand what he was fixated on, his hand reaches forward to the area. I look down and see him holding up the gold cross on my chest, one I nearly forgot I was wearing. He holds the cross with his thumb and forefinger. I forgot I was wearing this still. I lift my hand up behind my neck to unclasp it. No, He stops me. Just leave it on for now. I look back at him as he kept hold of the pendant, eyes still on the gold jewelry. His eyes stare at his mother's necklace on my open chest, his thumb rubbing it gently before dropping it back on my skin. I didn't want to say anything more about it, and knowing he wants me to keep it a little longer was touching. I grab his hands and walk back towards the shower. Once I felt the glass panel, I reach my hand back and gently push it open to feel the wall of steam hit my back. My eye contact breaks as I look down to my feet to step in, still holding his hand to lead him. We get inside the massive glass shower and shut the door to be hidden behind the blurrier glass. His hands stay in mine as I lead us under the stream that was coming from the center of the ceiling, the hot water eventually submerging the top of my head. I draw him forward so the water slowly flows down his head and completely washes down his broad shoulders and sculpted body. Our bodies stop moving and stay only 2 inches apart. Water blanketing both of us from head to toe, I kept my hold on his fingers, licking up at him through the water. He looks at me for only a second before shutting his eyes, overwhelmed. It's just you and me, I whisper with the water dancing off my lips. The purple lights devour our bodies, hiding some of the painful histories on his skin. Between his chest muscles, the dog tag pendant soaks under the water, glistening in the liquid. The warm water soothes my naked body, raining down from the ceiling. The steam was thick of tepid humidity, warming every inch of my skin. Harry's eyes stay shut under the waterfall devouring us, his naked chest rising up and down in his attempts to find peace. I turn around to the ledge, stepping out from under the stream. See, stream. I look at the different bottles of product, squinting to read what was that. Okay, cool. I read that right. I found the 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, grabbing it off. What? I said to read what was that. To read what was what. I found the 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, grabbing it off the ledge and turning back around. Staying a few meters away under the water, Harry stood with his arms crossed over his body like he was hiding it a bit, his head down. One arm crossed over his chest and the other diagonal across his ribs or abs. I said ribs. How do I get ribs from abs? Okay. The guarded sight made my heart break a bit, knowing he was slightly embarrassed. I stepped back up to him under the water with his head down, hiding part of his chest. Instead of saying anything, I popped the cap off with the shampoo and squeezed some into my hand. Once I had the perfect amount, I crouched the bottle down to the tiled flooring. With the white lotion in my palm, I rubbed my hands together and bring it to the top of his head, lathering the shampoo through his wet hair. He lifts his head as I do so, opening his eyes to me. I glance at his eyes for a second before directing back at his hair. Well, to his hair. The suds spread the more I scrubbed his head gently, scrunching my fingers down into the roots to massage it through. Even though I wasn't looking at his eyes, I could feel him staring at mine. The soap washes down his back while I was lathering, his thick hair soaping wet and thick foam. It just kind of reminded me of soaking wet, but it's soaping wet. All right, so now they're in the shower, you know what I'm saying? She's like, she can tell that he's very, embarrassed, uncomfortable. He's covering himself up. More likely like this is what I imagine. You get what I'm saying? He has one across and then one diagonal, over his abs. So, you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying anything, which I think is a great idea, just to not say anything, to not, show that you see that he's embarrassed type shit. Just go past it and try to make him feel more comfortable just by doing other things. So that's what she decided to, just start, washing his hair for him. And I think that's very much appreciated by him, knowing, he's gazing into her eyes, mesmerized and shit, like, wow, she's perfect. His hands lift to his head while I wash, collecting a bunch of the spreading soap on his head and bringing it to the top of mine. My eyes connect back with his to see him staring right into me. into them. Arms no longer covering his body as he begins rubbing the shampoo through my hair too. A smile pulls up my lips as he rubs the product through my hair like I was doing for him. His fingers rake through my scalp, lathering the soap through my roots. It was a soothing feeling to have someone else's hands through my hair, practically massaging my head. I nearly hum at the feeling, shutting my eyes. The water rinses the shampoo at the same time we were washing it through each other's hair, covering our bodies in the hair product that smelled of pine trees and lavender. Once a majority of it was out, I crouched back down and grabbed the body wash, repeating the same steps. I extract a good amount into the palm of my hand. Would you like me to rub this in for you? Or do it yourself? I ask in respect of his boundaries. He steps forward and flips me around so my back was against him. His lips duck in my ear while stepping me out from under the water stream. He scoops the soap from my hands and rubs it between his palms to get it all soapy. I breathe gently and watch of his hands rubbing together to spread the foam. He brings his hands to my arms first, gently rubbing his hands down them so my skin sponges the body wash. His head stays next to mine, breathing against my ear delicately. When his alluring hands meet the back of mine, down by my sides, he gently runs his fingertips between my own. Ooh, damn, this one got 2.2 thousand comments. That means people was really liking that imagery, huh? His lips lean down into the top of my shoulder, parting his lips against the wet skin to leave a gentle kiss. I shut my eyes and lean back against him more, melting my back into him for support. His fingers detangle from mine and move to my outer thighs, rubbing them up and down to further spread the soap. My stomach knots when he slips his hands to the top of my thighs, dragging his hands up to my hips to where he gently lathers the area of my lower stomach. His fingers teasingly graze between my hips, kissing my shoulder at the same time. This is juicy, y'all. This is juicy. Don't even think about it. I laugh under my breath, not wanting scented soap to go in a place soap shouldn't go. He cackles into my shoulder. Don't worry. His hands lace up my stomach, savoring the soap across my skin like a trail of history on every place he touched me. His open palms graze up to my breasts, smiling into my neck while gripping them cheekily. I smile and shut my eyes, biting my lip to contain my grin. Ooh! You're always so sensitive to my touch, he coaxed pensively, hands palming my chest a bit before moving them to my sides. I'm pretty sure is what they meant to say. What makes you think that? I whisper, a relaxed hum. He trails the back of his fingers up and down the sides of my rib cages, making my stomach shudder. I can just feel it. Period. With no rebuttal, I just nod and keep my head back on his shoulder. His lips continue to place effortless kisses on my neck, slow and sultry like he was savoring the moment, as he should. His hands open back on my sides, suddenly slipping them up so my arms fly up in the air, and he washes soap up my underarms. The quick gesture made me laugh, and his lips grinned hard into my neck, being cheeky. I brought my arms back down and flipped around to face him again. Purple lights drowning us. A few ringlets of hair hanging freely over the bridge of his nose, my hands inviting themselves to the sides of his neck. Our eyes only met gaze for a moment before he leans down and crashes our lips together, taking my oxygen for his own amusement. I smile into his lips like so many times before, letting him lead me through the kiss. Aw, this is so cute. Let me get a little drink. Y'all, this is so cute. I love the author for this because you can really just picture this as you're reading it. It's perfect. My soap body presses to his, spreading the suds of his torso on his torso. Look, I was almost there. After I went past the studs to suds. the suds on his torso. My hands blindly roll down the dips on his... Can we just redo this part? My soap body presses to his, spreading the suds on his torso. My hands blindly roll down the dips of his shoulders and valleys down his sculpted arms. His hands find my ass, gripping it in his slippery hold and arching me against him. He kisses me harder in duration, robbing me of air like he needed it to breathe. See, I love the figurative language. Is amazing. Robbing me of air, like stealing the air, like just that is perfect. Like that is exactly that's crazy. I love that. That is dope. Every time this author like describes that, like taking my oxygen for his own amusement, like that, those are just chef's kiss. I latch his bottom lip between my teeth, pausing the kiss to pull it gently and let it go before kissing him again. He moans in his chest at the action, gripping my ass tighter to show the impact it had. I breathe out against his lip and timidly wind back from the momentum. I don't know about y'all, but right here, you know what I'm saying? It just gave me a little butterflies. Gave me a little something right there. And I'm not even in this. All right? I'm not even in this. With a sterile grunt, he flips me back around abruptly. So he was towered behind me again. I feel him pull half his body away from me for a second. My eyes on the white marble wall across the shower that was blanketed with purple reflection. In a matter of seconds, I heard another form of water projection. Before I even go to question anything, I saw the handheld shower head in his hand. He brought it around in front of me. The silver object connected to the wall behind us from a long silver coil. The gentle water gets brought to the skin above my chest, blanketing the soap off my breasts and cascading it down the length of my body. The water was hot, but the type of hot that walked a fine line between too hot and lukewarm. It was perfect. I shut my eyes again and rest my head back against his steady shoulder, feeling him valley my skin with the shower head to rinse me off all the body wash. Okay, I said that right. The water made the hair on my arms stand. The perfect temperature to devour me. You're my wife now. Do you understand that? He rasps under his breath. I nod in loss of words. I'm lost of words too. He brings the shower head up across my collarbone, arching it along my shoulders and down my back between us. I hum in peace, the hot water sending me into a tranquil. That sounds so familiar. I feel like this was one of my spelling words or something in middle school that made me relaxed but also aroused. He leans his lips into my ear between my hair, kissing it gently. He grips my hip with his free hand, keeping me firm in front of him. The shower spout valleys down each arm, taking its time. When it eventually meets my stomach, I shudder a bit. He circles it around my abdomen before slowly bringing it down to my hips. The thermal water washes down to certain places that send waves of warning through me. My stomach quivering at the same time. He keeps his lips against my ear, breathing gently. I just want to please my wife. Oh, this is getting a little spicy, y'all. Oh, shit. The shower head goes lower, gently moving back and forth between my hips bones. My hips bones? Okay. Warming me up to extents. Sorry, not just one. More than one. My chest began rising up and down more noticeably, the steam in the room beginning to choke me out. I was too in my head to speak, my undivided attention down to what he was doing with the shower head. Oh, shit. Okay. The water gent brought down to the most agile spot is how I'm gonna say it. Warm water grazing between my legs and cascading along my core. My stomach knots at the initial feeling of the hot water exploring new territories, igniting it. An electric wave washes up my body in bliss, my lips parting. Oh my gosh. 2,000 comments on that one. He sticks his foot between my two. shoving one over so it would separate and open my legs a bit more. His hand that grips my hip transition to wrapping around my stomach to hold me up against him. The warmth of the gentle stream heats down my slit. Okay, it gives me a heartbeat of pleasure. It's a type of pleasure I couldn't explain. Gentle and comfortable. It's a slow burn that got my whole body tingling. The gentle pressured water lacing up and down me with control of his wrist. Does that feel nice? He chose the word nice rather than good, knowing that was a more gentle feeling than times before. I nod frantically, humming a yes from the loss of my voice. He kisses my shoulder in response, continuing to graze the passionate water up and down my core. I breathe out into the steam-trapped shower chamber, opening my eyes for a second to just see purple. You know what's nice about a shower head like this? He whispers deeply, breathing against me. I shake my head and no. His arm unwraps from my stomach. It has different settings. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Suddenly, the shower head stream switches from the gentle setting to a pressure jet. I choke out a gasp and buck my knees so I slip down his body a few inches before he clutched his arm around my stomach to stop me, holding me up against him tight. Oh, pressure jet. Oh, y'all. What y'all know about this? What y'all know about this pressure jet, this jet pressure? What y'all know about it? I don't know about it. I'm guilty. I was about to say I'm guilty. I'm innocent. Shh. He shushes me quietly. I'll be careful. I pinch my eyes shut at the hot pressure water shot just below where all my nerves were. Switching gears in this completely. If he puts that right on my clit, then I'm a goner. I'm glad you know. He laces the aggressive water up and down, exploring every area, so I warmed up to the feeling. My body was an erratic mess already, gripping his thighs behind me. It felt good, but powerful. This flipped into relaxing to a very arousing situation. The longer he did it, the more I was begging for more. I looked down for a second to see his tattooed arm bound around my stomach and the other hand holding the silver shower head a few inches from my core. Pressured water jetting out from the center of it. The water bounced to every sensitive part of me, tingling my nerves. The sight made me choke a moan and toss my head back against him again. Oh. She feeling this shit, ain't she? Harry, that feels good. I tell you, I'm not gonna read this like y'all probably are imagining this, okay? Because this part right here is not for me. It's not for me to do that. Okay. Yeah, he antagonizes me, prodding for more. Yes, it really does. It's really good. Sorry, see, look, I'm already stuttering and shit. I nod frantically with my eyes tapered shut. He gently leads it closer to my clit, making sure to not go straight on it, but around it instead. He gently circles the water around the collection of nerves, making another whimper escape my lips in mercy. I've never felt something like this before. It was a different type of pleasure. A heartbeat between my legs was pulsating at the stimulation. The hot pressure feeling so euphoric. Ooh, okay. You're telling me I went all my life without doing this to myself in the shower? ? Hey, 8.3 thousand people commented to this. Bro. I'm dead. Absolutely dead, you guys. It was such a new pleasure that I knew it wouldn't take me long until it sent me into an orgasm. I fall weak in moans and grips on his thighs behind me. My knees buck once in a while, enduring these alternate forms of reflexes from these stimulations. My chest was burning at this point, scaling up and down from my lungs, trying to retain air to function. It felt like my body was failing because all my thoughts and functions were drawn to one area. He reaches a certain spot that sent me into bliss, my nails digging into his thighs and a yelp to leave my lips and a gesture to stay there. Right there. Fuck Harry. He grunts into my neck and tightens his arm around my stomach, keeping the shower head on a specific spot, just the left of my clit. I was an unraveling mess of moans at that point, clenching my body without control. I felt how hard he was against my body, getting pleasure from what he was doing to me. His was pressed up against me. I reach my hand back between us and grab it at the base, angling it forward so he slides tight between my thighs and along my core. He wasn't inside me, just along me from behind. I pressed my thighs together a little more so his length was tight between them. A groan leaves his lips from the placement of his between my thighs and along the place he was holding the shower head. His hips gently drag back and forth in temptation, rubbing his tip along the wetness between my legs from behind. I moan at the other form of the stimulation of a gentle grind while he kept the warm pressure where I needed it the most. All right, you guys, we are going to pause right there. Indeed, we are. We are going to pause right there. Now, this is extremely long, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this on day 10. Day 10, you guys can expect the rest of this. You get what I'm saying? So stay tuned. It's getting hella spicy. All right, this is explicit, okay? I'm going to have to put a warning in the beginning of this video. Oh, Jesus. All right, y'all. Now, this is a pause. You get what I'm saying? We pausing it. We pausing. I need a break. I I don't know about y'all. I need one. Did you guys take a break, like, in the middle of this chapter specifically? Because I need one. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys. Make sure you guys like the video up. Like it up. If you guys want more, I'm going to finish this chapter. So get ready. Reactmas day 10. You guys will have the rest of this. If you guys do subscribe, if y'all do hit the bell, you'll see me in the next video. Stay lit, y'all. Yeah.